Hello everyone, my name is Aastha. I welcome you all to our classes for International English Olympiad for Class 8th. This is our 8th class in the series and we will be doing the topic of pronouns. We'll be understanding various categories of pronouns and which category is going to be used when, through various examples and through the sample questions also. So let's get started.
Hello everyone, my name is Aastha and I welcome you all to another class for the International English Olympiad for Class 8. Now I hope you all are doing well and revising the concepts that we have been doing. It is very important to continuously be in touch with these grammar topics, not just for IEO but for being good at English in general, to have a good command over the language and to also gain these good marks in IEO. Alright, so what we have been doing is taking one topic at a time and then understanding it, taking its various types of available, the examples, and then moving on to the quiz. Now this quiz also forms a very important part of your preparation because the quiz is one thing which actually tests your knowledge and how much you have actually learned, or if there are any loopholes. And for those loopholes, if you find any, you have to go back and brush up those concepts, take those questions again, what you really did wrong, understand it, and make sure you don't repeat that mistake. Alright, so I hope you're going to have another fruitful session. Let's start today's concept. So what is our mission for today? Now we call it a mission because what we do is we understand each topic, and after this video is done, you will be able to identify pronouns. If there is a sentence, you will be able to identify where the pronoun is used. You will be able to understand कि इसमें कौन सा type of pronoun is also used. And आप pronouns जब use करना शुरू करेंगे तो आपका जो language है वो कैसे improve होगी वो आपको examples में पता चलेगा. कैसे आपको repetition नहीं करनी पड़ेगी किसी चीज की. And how pronouns can make your grammar better. Okay, so let's start with today's topic, pronouns. So the first question that comes to our mind is, what exactly are pronouns? How do we use them? How do we identify them? So let's understand that first. So what are pronouns? Pronouns are those words that we use instead of nouns or noun phrases. So the words that we gave an example of, like he, we also gave the example of his and him, and all these words which we use instead of the noun. What was Ranbir? Ranbir was a noun. It was a proper noun. हमने nouns पढ़े थे पिछले chapter में. Ranbir is a proper noun. Proper noun वो होता है when we refer to any specific person. So the words that we use instead of these nouns or phrases, ताकि हमें repeat ना करना पड़े, so they become pronouns. Just think how many times we would have to repeat nouns in our sentences if we did not have pronouns in English. अगर हमारे इंग्लिश में प्रोनाउंस नहीं होते, he, his, him कुछ नहीं होता, तो हमें सेम नाउन कितनी बार रिपीट करना पड़ता. My best friend's name is Ranbir. Ranbir lives in Delhi. Ranbir likes chole bhature. I went to Ranbir's house. Ranbir gave me Ranbir's pencil. You see, इतनी बार हमें वो pronouns repeat करने पड़ते. क्या करने पड़ते? Repeat. The nouns we would have to repeat. But हमारे पास pronouns हैं, तो हमें repeat नहीं करने पड़ रहे हैं, and we use pronouns instead of these nouns or noun phrases. So this is the importance of pronouns in English. So now we have understood what pronouns are, and we will take a few examples so that आपको clearer understanding हो. See, we write Aastha likes to eat. Aastha is eating a chocolate. Here, what is the noun? Aastha likes to eat. Aastha is being repeated. The noun, the proper noun Aastha is being repeated. So we will replace it with a pronoun. Aastha likes to eat. She is eating a chocolate. You see how we have avoided repetition of the noun and we have replaced it with a pronoun. Next, Ayush is running. Ayush got punished for being late. What is the proper noun here? Ayush. It is being repeated. So we'll just write instead. Ayush is running. He got punished for being late. So now again we have replaced the proper noun with a pronoun. This is the basic definition of pronouns where we replace a noun or a noun phrase with a pronoun and avoid being repetitive. So now we have a few more examples. The books are heavy. My brother could not carry the books. Here you see, this is not a proper noun but a common noun. The books, it is being repeated again. So instead of the books you write, the books are heavy. My brother could not carry them. All right. Now then another example. My aunt will visit me today. My aunt's kids are very naughty. What is being repeated here? My aunt. Again, my aunt. So instead of my aunt's kids, we write her kids are very naughty. So you see again, pronouns क्या कर रहे हैं? Pronouns are replacing a noun and they are avoiding repetition. Here them is a pronoun, here her is a pronoun. Now let's move on. So we have understood how pronouns works. Now which all pronouns do we have? What are the various types of pronouns? हमें कब कौन सा pronoun use करना है? वो हम अब understand करेंगे through the types of pronouns. Okay, we will understand each type through examples and application. फिर उसके बाद we will move on to a quiz. So let's start. Alright, so now we will start with the first category of pronouns, which is the personal pronouns. What do personal pronouns do? When the pronoun denotes the doer of an action or the subject, मतलब the pronoun is denoting the doer of the action और जो subject which is the focus of the sentence. जैसे अभी हमने example लिया था कि Ranbir is my best friend. Then if instead of Ranbir, if we say he is my best friend. So he is a personal pronouns because what it is doing is it is denoting the doer of the action or the subject. It is replacing the main subject, Ranbir, so it becomes a personal pronoun. All right. So whatever pronouns that denote the doer of an action or the subject, they are referred to as personal pronouns. Here we have the examples. I, you, he, she, it, we, you, they. Now, all these are what? They are personal pronouns. Very easy to remember, the ones who denote the doer. You have to remember about the doer. All right. Here you see these personal pronouns have three categories. We can talk about the doer in the first person, in the second person or in the third person. First person कब होता है? जब हम खुद बता रहे होते हैं कि मैंने ये काम किया. I made a sandwich today. We went to picnic today. So you see, I made a sandwich today में I is the doer, मतलब मैं doer हूँ. तो I becomes the personal pronoun. We are going to the picnic today. So action कौन कर रहा है? Picnic पे कौन जा रहा है? We. So we is the personal pronoun. जब हम second person में किसी और की बात कर रहे होते हैं कि you did this. For example, you should go to school today. So you. When you स्कूल को किसने जाना है? कौन जाएगा स्कूल? You. तो एक्शन कौन कर रहा है? The second person. So you becomes the personal pronoun. Then third person. Third person में मैं अपनी बात नहीं कर रही, मैं किसी को बोल नहीं रही, you नहीं बोल रही. Rather, I am talking about the third person. Third person मतलब I am talking about someone else who is not in the picture. For example, अगर मैं और आप बात कर रहे हैं, this is me and this is you, and both of us are talking about another person who is not here. तो हम उसके बारे में बात करेंगे third person में. जैसे he is going to the mall today, or she did not come to school today. Yeah, it is a good movie. They arrived in the morning. So इसमें doer कौन है? Doer is a third person. He, she, it, they, all these. तो आपको first person, second person, third person में difference समझ आया? First person जब मैं खुद की बात कर रही हूँ. First मतलब मैं या फिर हम. मैं अपनी और अपने एक ग्रुप की अगर बात कर रही हूँ तो I होगा या फिर we होगा. फिर जब second person की बात आती है, जब मैं आपको कुछ बोल रही हूँ, for example you, तो मेरा और आपका conversation हो गया I, you. But third person, जब मैं और आप मिलके किसी और के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, then that becomes the third person. जब हम बात कर रहे हैं but that person is not here, so हमें उसके लिए third person में बोलना पड़ता है कि it या he या she. Okay? So यही तीनों हमारे personal pronouns हैं. I, we, first person में, second person में you, and third person में he, she, it, they. All right? Okay, so now we will do a few examples of personal pronouns. Examples से आपको थोड़ा सा better समझ आएगा, आप उन्हें apply कर पाएंगे ना sentences में, तो आपको understand better होगा. Now the first sentence is I am playing games. अगर हम personal pronouns का meaning याद करें, तो personal pronouns are the ones which replace the doer. तो doer of the action, doer. Right? And यहाँ पे action क्या है? यहाँ पे काम क्या हो रहा है? Playing games. So who is playing games? I. What is the personal pronoun? Who's the doer? I. The personal pronoun I. And हमने एक और चीज सीखी थी, which was first person, second person, third person. So I is which person? I is when I'm talking about myself. So it becomes the first person. Moving on to the next example. Now, the next example here, the action is, now the sentence is, we are eating pizza. Action क्या है? क्या काम हो रहा है यहाँ पे? We are eating pizza. And who is eating the pizza? यहाँ पे doer कौन है? Doer is we. Okay. So we is the personal pronoun. We is the doer. And we कौन से person में है? First, second or third? We is when we're talking about ourselves, right? So it becomes the first person again. Then moving on to the third example. The sentence says, you are running. What is the action taking place here? Running. That someone is running. That is the action. But who is doing the action? Who is running? We are given the personal pronoun you. So you is the doer and the personal pronoun. But you कौन से person में है? First, second or third? You is the second person. Why? Because second person मतलब जब हम सामने वाले से बात कर रहे हैं. You are doing this, you are doing that. इस example में you are running. Okay, so this is the second person. Next we move on to the last example. Sorry. We move on to the last example. This one says, he is studying. So what is the action taking place here? The action is studying. And who is studying? The doer is he. So this becomes the personal pronoun since he is the doer. And which person is this? First, second, or third? Now we remember that third person when we're talking about someone else, not me or you, but we're talking about someone else, the third person. That is he or she. So he is the third person, I and we. This was the first person. You was the second person and he the third person. All of these are personal pronouns. I hope it is clear to you. So now we have done the first category. We have done the first category of pronouns, which was the personal pronouns. Now we are doing the second category, which is reflexive pronouns. Reflexive pronouns are used when the object is same as the subject. Now, object is same as the subject. ये आपको सुनने में थोड़ा सा टेक्निकल लग रहा होगा, थोड़ा सा कंफ्यूजिंग लग रहा होगा, but now we will take a few examples and examples जब लेंगे तो आपको इसका मीनिंग अच्छे से समझ आ जाएगा. So let's see. And we have these pictures. You see, this one says, we protect ourselves from the rain with an umbrella. Now here we are talking about protecting ourselves. इधर subject क्या है? Subject is we. Okay, we, and we is also a personal pronoun. But protect क्या कर रहे हैं? Protect ourselves. So object is, object और subject कौन है? These people, मतलब us only, we. So we use as a personal pronoun that we protect ourselves. So ourselves, जो हम object के लिए pronoun use कर रहे हैं, that becomes the reflexive pronoun. So the subject and object is same. जो subject है, जो ये kids हैं, जो हम लोग हैं, we are doing the action on ourselves. मतलब हम अपने आप को protect कर रहे हैं, किसी और को नहीं, अपने आप को. So we protect ourselves. Subject and object are same. So we use a reflexive pronoun ourselves. Now next. They hurt themselves when they were playing. तो यहाँ पे the subject is they are the doer, तो ये तो personal pronoun हो गया. But object क्या है? Object is themselves. उन्होंने अपने आप को ही hurt कर लिया गलती से. To themselves. This becomes the reflexive pronoun. Okay? Now next. She blames herself for all the trouble. What is the subject? She. What is the action she is doing? She is blaming herself for all the trouble. Doer कौन है? She. So she is the personal pronoun. But object क्या है? What is she doing the action on? She is blaming herself. अपने आप को blame कर रही है. तो subject and object same. तो herself becomes the reflexive pronoun. Alright? तो यही होते हैं reflexive pronouns when the subject and object are the same. जैसे इसमें we had we protecting ourselves. Now we and ourselves do subject, we doing the action on ourselves. Subject and object same. Then they themselves. Subject and the object same. Reflexive pronoun themselves. Here also she and herself. Reflexive pronoun herself. Subject and object are same. Alright? Now the next category of examples. The dog hurt itself when he jumped over the fence. Now the dog. What is the subject here? Dog. अब यहाँ पे you have to remember dog जो है वो noun है. वो pronoun नहीं है. Dog is a noun. Okay? It is a noun. But what is the action being done? Hurt itself. तो object क्या है जिस पे action किया गया है? That is itself. Dog ने अपने आप को ही hurt कर लिया. So itself is the reflexive pronoun. When the subject and the object are same, then the pronoun used is the reflexive pronoun. Now next. The children are amusing themselves with the snow. Now you see here what is the subject? The children. Again, this is not a pronoun, this is a noun. Because किसी noun को replace नहीं किया है, ये noun ही है अभी भी. An action amusing themselves with the snow. Now you see what is the object? Themselves. The children were having fun and they were amusing themselves. So themselves is the reflexive pronoun. When the subject and the object are same. Now the next example. Did you enjoy yourself at the party last night? The question is, did you enjoy yourself at the party last night? Now you is a personal pronoun. Okay, the action is being done by you. The question is, did you enjoy the party? Did you enjoy yourself at the party last night? So action क्या है? Enjoy the party last night. Who is it? Who is doing it? The doer कौन है? Doer. Doer is you. So this is the personal pronoun. But हम क्या कर रहे हैं अभी? हम कर रहे हैं अभी reflexive pronouns. Reflexive pronouns तब होते हैं जब the subject is the same as the object. So yourself is the reflexive pronoun. So now let's move on. Now we have a list of reflexive pronouns for your reference. जैसे हमने personal pronouns की list करी थी first person, second person and third person में. वैसे ही सिंगुलर की जब हम बात कर रहे हैं, यहाँ पे हम सिंगुलर और प्लूरल में हमने कर दिया डिफाइन। सिंगुलर माई सेल्फ, मतलब जब मैं सिंगल हूँ और मैं सिर्फ अपनी बात कर रही हूँ। योर सेल्फ, जब हम सिंगुलर में किसी और की बात कर रहे हो, सिर्फ एक इंसान की, व्हेन यू आर टेलिंग देम। या हिमसेल्फ या हरसेल्फ और इटसेल्फ। प्लूरल में जब आप किसी ग्रुप ऑफ पीपल की बात कर रहे हो, जैसे आप बात कर रहे हो आपकी टीम की, which means your group, a group of people which you are a part of, जिसमें आप भी included हो, तो ourselves। पर किसी और की बात कर रहे हो और उन्हें direct करके बोल रहे हो, तो yourselves, you should watch yourselves, ऐसे करके। And themselves is when you're talking in third person about somebody else altogether. Now next. Alright, so now there's this another category of pronouns. This is intensive or emphatic pronouns. Now these pronouns I have taken this like after the reflexive pronouns. Why? To explain and contrast these for you alongside reflexive pronouns. Now these are the pronouns which add emphasis to a certain noun. They add emphasis. Emphatic, it comes from the noun emphasis. So they add emphasis to the noun. And I have taken it after reflexive pronoun as a sort of a subcategory. But this is not a subpart of reflexive pronouns. You should be clear on that. Now these have the same self words of reflexive pronouns. Whatever examples we saw of reflexive pronouns, like myself, herself, himself. So all these self words, they are the same as reflexive pronouns, okay? But their idea and their aim and their usage is not the same. What is the difference between reflexive and intensive pronouns? That we will see in the coming slides, okay? You just have to know that these words, whatever which are the emphatic pronouns or the intensive pronouns, they are the same self words of reflexive pronouns. All right. Okay, so reflexive versus intensive pronouns. Let's see. Now, what do reflexive pronouns do? They give meaning to the sentence and they reflect back on the subject. Whereas what intensive pronouns do is they do not give meaning to a sentence. Do not give any meaning. They are not really needed. Not needed. The sentence can work perfectly well without the intensive pronouns, but they are only used for dramatic emphasis. ठीक है? They are only used for emphasizing. Emphasis हम कभी किसी चीज का करते हैं, you know, it is not really necessary to do it, but हम उसे emphasize करते हैं क्योंकि हम उसे extra importance देना चाहते हैं. So यहाँ पे they are not needed. इनकी कोई जरूरत नहीं है. We just use them for dramatic emphasis. Dramatic emphasis, let's see how. Here the example is for reflexive. I'm seeing first here. I bought myself some clothes. Now here, what is the reflexive pronoun? Myself. I bought myself some clothes. Now यहाँ पे, what is myself doing? Myself is giving meaning to the sentence. क्योंकि अगर यहाँ पे myself नहीं होता और यहाँ पे सिर्फ I bought some clothes, so हमें पता नहीं चलता ये किसके लिए कपड़े, किसके लिए कपड़े आए हैं या whatever. But myself के आने से हमें पता चला that this person whosoever is saying, जैसे अगर मैं कह रही हूँ कि I bought myself some clothes, इसका मतलब मैं अपने लिए, खुद के लिए कपड़े लाई हूँ. Alright, so it is giving meaning to the sentence. Alright, and is reflecting back on the subject. Subject क्या है? I पे ही reflect हो रहा है back. Okay? मैं अपनी ही बात कर रही हूँ, अपने कपड़ों की ही. Alright. Now here in intensive, let's see the example here. Okay, let's see. The kids themselves went to school. यहाँ पे हम क्या कह रहे हैं? The kids themselves went to school. यहाँ पे हमारा pronoun क्या है? Themselves. ठीक है. But यहाँ पे ये themselves वाला जो प्रोनाउन है क्या कर रहा है? It is emphasizing on the kids कि kids जो है उन्होंने खुद कुछ काम किया. Alright. Now, if we just say the kids went to school, तो यहाँ this sentence also and the first sentence also, both these sentences have the same meaning. Alright, but themselves हमने add किया तो क्या हुआ? Kids जो है, जो हमारा noun है, जो subject है, उस पे emphasis कर दिया हमने दोबारा. It is emphasizing कि जो kids थे वो खुद ही स्कूल गए. Alright. तो ये बस emphasis, एक dramatic emphasis के लिए है. अगर हम themselves यहाँ पे नहीं डालेंगे, like the second sentence, kids went to school, तो इसका भी मतलब same ही रहेगा. Alright, I hope you have understood the difference between reflexive and intensive. Okay, and these are also called as emphatic pronouns. Emphatic ones. Okay. Okay, so now you see, we have done pronouns and we have done two kinds of pronouns. First was the personal pronouns and second was the reflexive pronouns. Now we move on to the third category of pronouns, which is the demonstrative pronouns. Demonstrative pronouns are what? They are the words that point to specific things. Specific things. अब ये कैसे यूज होते हैं, कौन से demonstrative pronouns होते हैं, ये हम examples के form में समझेंगे. But first you should understand that demonstrative pronouns are the ones that point to specific things. Okay? Let's move on to the examples. Now, this hand or this person is pointing towards a candy. So what do we say? This is a candy. Right? What is this? This is a candy. But if that candy is far off, just a minute. So if this candy is far off, you will say that is a candy. Right? You're pointing it towards a far off thing, that is a candy. But if you have the candy nearby, you say this is a candy. So in both the situations, it is being pointed towards a thing. And the pronoun being used is this or that. This or that. So these two become demonstrative pronouns. Then another one. Now what do we say? These are many candies, right? So these we say these are candies. When it's plural and they are nearby, so you use these. But when they are far off and they are plural, so we say those are candies. So as we learned, demonstrative pronouns are the ones that point towards specific things. So demonstrative pronouns are the ones which point towards specific things, जिसमें हमने पिछले स्लाइड पे देखा this is a candy, that is a candy. अब यहाँ पे हमने देखा these are candies, those are candies. Singular में देख लिया, plural में देख लिया. When they are nearby and they are far off, this, that, and these, those. So this is the list of demonstrative pronouns. This, that, these, those. This, that. ये दोनों use होते हैं for singular and ये दोनों use होते हैं for plural. और जब पास में हो कुछ, this is this, these are these. So this is used for nearer and that and those are used for plural. Alright, so demonstrative pronouns are very easy. There are only 4 demonstrative pronouns. this, that, these, those, when you're pointing towards something. So very easy. Let's move on. Okay, now we have the next category of pronouns, which is possessive pronouns. This is pretty easy to understand because what they do is they indicate possession or ownership. Pretty easy. Possessive pronoun है, आपको नाम से याद ही रहेगा. Possessive है, it comes from the noun possession. They indicate any sort of ownership या possession. And यहाँ पे पूरी categorization I have given. For first person singular, we refer to mine. Second person singular, yours. Third person singular and male, his. Third person singular and female, hers. Third person singular neutral, its. First person plural, ours. Second person plural, yours. Third person plural, theirs. Alright, this is pretty easy. Or possessive pronouns, easy to understand also. What do? They indicate sort of a possession or ownership. Let's move on. Okay, so here are a few examples of possessive pronouns. Like here, that is his house. Which is the possessive pronoun here? His. किसकी बात हो रही है? घर की. Okay. And पर वो किसका घर है? किसकी possession में है? किसकी ownership में है? His. Third person singular male. Alright, his. Other sentence, she asked me, is that pen yours? Now here, yours. ये किसकी बात हो रही है? पेन की. और पेन की ओनरशिप किसके लिए पूछी जा रही है? Yours. This is second person, can be singular or can be plural as well. Alright. So that's how the possessive pronouns work. I hope you have understood the possessive pronouns. Alright, now next is reciprocal pronouns. What do reciprocal pronouns do? When two or more nouns are engaged in saying things or reciprocating to each other some kind of action. यहाँ पे जब दो nouns हैं या दो से ज़्यादा हैं, and what they are doing, they are reciprocating to each other कोई action. And there are these two reciprocal pronouns, each other, one another. ठीक है, they are used when there are these two nouns or more than two and वो एक दूसरे के ऊपर कोई action reciprocate कर रहे हैं, which means the first noun is doing the action on the second noun and the second noun is also doing that action on the first noun. या जितने भी nouns हैं वो एक दूसरे सब पे that action जो भी referred होगा sentence में, सब सारे nouns वो action कर रहे हैं एक दूसरे के ऊपर. Alright, let's see the example. Okay, now here the example, pretty easy. Let's see, आपको अच्छे से समझ आ जाएगा. The players pass the equipment to one another. One another. यहाँ पे क्या action हो रहा है? The players passing the equipment. यहाँ पे noun क्या है? Players हैं. Okay, players, one player, two or more players, obviously. Right, क्योंकि यहाँ पे plural है, right? Two or more players, ये noun है हमारा. And what are they doing? What is the action being done? They are passing the equipment to one another. To one another मतलब ये एक दूसरे को ही तो pass करेंगे. They are doing this action, reciprocating it on each other. एक दूसरे पे reciprocate कर रहे हैं, एक दूसरे को pass कर रहे हैं. All right. So one another हमें यही बता रहा है. This reciprocal pronoun, that these players, this noun is reciprocating the action on each other. Alright, next example, same. While kids are smiling at each other. What is the noun here? Kids, two or more kids. And what is the action being done? Smiling. Okay, this is the action. And what is the reciprocal pronoun? Each other. So this each other, this reciprocal pronoun is telling us that these nouns, they are reciprocating these actions on each other. One kid is smiling at the another. Okay, there's this one kid, जो second kid कुछ smile दे रहा है, action कर रहा है. Second kid is also smiling at the first kid. Then there might be another third kid also. Second kid also smiling at third kid. Third kid also smiling at second kid. First kid also smiling at the third kid. Third kid also smiling at the first kid. ऐसे ही the cycle goes on. Alright, so all these nouns, all these kids are reciprocating the actions on each other. Alright, this is also easy to understand. These are reciprocal pronouns. Right? Now we have relative pronouns, another category of pronouns. This is also easy. When are relative pronouns used? They are used to connect any clause or phrase with another noun or pronoun. They are connecting what? Any clause or phrase with either a noun or a pronoun. And what use do they have? They provide information about the noun. We have the examples of relative pronouns like who, whom, whose, that, which. Alright, these are the examples of relative pronouns. What do? They're used to connect a clause or phrase with a noun or a pronoun. Alright, and they provide information about the noun. Let's see how do they do that. Okay, here. The girl who is sitting there is my sister. Now, what is the relative pronoun here? Here we have who. Okay, who is the relative pronoun? So what is the action that this relative pronoun is doing? It is connecting this noun, the girl is the noun, and this clause of phrase sitting there is my sister. It is connecting the noun with the phrase. Okay, and in doing such thing, what is the action or what is the usage of who? Who, the relative pronoun, is providing us information about what? About this girl. The girl who is sitting there is my sister. Okay, हमें information किसके through मिल रही है? Through this relative pronoun. Alright. Now let's see the next example. The crew member whom I like has gone to Paris. यहाँ पे भी same चीज हो रही है. The crew member is the noun. Whom is what? Is the relative pronoun. This is the phrase. So the noun is being connected with the phrase with the help of the relative pronoun. And this relative pronoun is providing us information about the crew member. Alright, which is the noun. Another, the items which we bought have expired. The items, this is the noun. Which is the relative pronoun. We bought have expired. This is the phrase. Okay, now this noun is being connected to the phrase with what? With the relative pronoun which. And in the process, what is which doing? It is providing us information about what? About the noun. Alright, so these are relative pronouns. What do? They provide us information about the noun. They connect the noun or the pronoun with the phrase or the clause. Alright. Okay, so here we have the interrogative pronouns. What do the interrogative pronouns do? They're used to ask questions. This is pretty easy to understand from the name itself. Interrogative pronouns are used to what? To interrogate. Okay, used to ask questions. There are 5 main interrogative pronouns as given here. Who, whom, what, which, whose. Alright. So interrogative pronouns will be used to ask questions. Let's see the examples here. Who is this girl? This is a pronoun asking who is this girl? What is this book's name? What is the interrogative pronoun? And then whom do you prefer to vote for? Whom is the interrogative pronoun. So what is this? What are all these interrogative pronouns doing? They are asking questions. They're helping us to ask questions. All right. Now we have indefinite pronouns. What do indefinite pronouns do? They refer to a noun without mentioning about it or them exactly. Okay, they don't mention it or them exactly, but they refer to it. We will see how. Now they can be either singular or plural. Now here, each, every, everyone, anyone, someone, something, etc. Now there are, all these are indefinite pronouns. What is their usage? They refer to a noun or nouns without mentioning about it or them exactly. They don't refer to them exactly, but they don't mention them exactly, but refer to them in some manner through these indefinite pronouns. Let's see how. Okay, here is someone at the door. Someone is the indefinite pronoun here. So what are we doing? We are referring to a particular noun. Okay, what is that noun? That person who is at the door, that is the noun. And we are referring to it. Okay, but we are not mentioning that person directly because we don't know who that person is. We're just asking. So someone is the indefinite pronoun and we are asking about that someone. All right. Then in the other example, can you see anything? So what are we doing here? Anything. Now, whatever we are asking for, if that person is able to see, that thing, that particular thing is a noun and we are referring to it through the indefinite pronoun, but we are not mentioning it exactly. So in both these examples, what we have done, we are referring to a noun जो exist करता है, but we are not mentioning it exactly, but referring to it through what? Through these indefinite pronouns. All right, that's the job of indefinite pronouns. We have distributive pronouns. What are they used for? They're used to refer to person or things one at a time. Examples could be either, neither, each. So they refer to either a person or a thing, one at a particular time. Okay. Let's see the example. I like to either read or listen to music during my free time. So either read or listen to music. So these are the distributive pronouns, and what are they doing? They are referring to one action at a particular time. Like here, they're referring to read, and then or is referring to listen to music. Okay. He prefers neither mangoes nor strawberries. Neither mangoes nor strawberries. So what is this doing? Referring to one thing at one particular time. That's, what are those? These are distributive pronouns. Okay. All right. So now let's move on to the revision part. We've done so many categories. Now we will revise all of them just once quickly. Okay. So pronoun and its kinds. Wow, how many pronouns do we have done? Have we done? Let's see. Personal pronouns. Personal pronouns are the ones which refer to the doer of the action, the subject, like I, you, he, she, right? Then interrogative pronouns. Now this is not in the order that we have done. This is just a list that I have inserted to revise all of these. Interrogative pronouns, हमें नाम से पता चल रहा है. What do interrogative pronouns do? They used to interrogate, right? Like who, whom, like that. Then we have indefinite pronouns. Indefinite pronouns, they refer to the noun but don't mention it exactly, like someone, everyone. All right. Relative pronouns. Relative pronouns used to establish some sort of relation, which means they help us provide information about something like whose or that. Okay. Then possessive pronouns, they indicate possession or ownership. Right? How do they do that? Mine, yours, his, hers, etc. We did reflexive pronouns. What do reflexive pronouns do? Reflexive pronouns help to reflect where the object is the subject. Okay. Then intensive pronouns we did along with reflexive pronouns. Okay. They are the same as the reflexive pronouns in examples, but their job is different. Used to emphasize, also known as emphatic pronouns. Then demonstrative pronouns. They are used to point to specific things. This, that, these, those. We have reciprocal pronouns. What do reciprocal pronouns do? There are two or more nouns which are shown as reciprocating some action on each other with the help of these reciprocal pronouns. All right. Then we have distributive pronouns. What do distributive pronouns do? Distributive pronouns are the ones which are used to refer to any person or thing like one at a time, like either, neither, each. All right. Distributive pronouns. So with this, we finish off with the concept of pronouns. Whatever there was to understand in the types and the concept analysis that we have done. Okay. Alright, so now we have done all the concepts and now it's the time to move on to the next segment, which is our quiz, and this part will test your overall learning and your overall knowledge. This is very important part, so pay attention. Okay, and take out your notebooks and notepad. I hope you have been writing the concept so far as well. Okay, let's start. Alright, so for the quiz, what we will be doing is, now every question you will be given 1 minute. 1 minute means 60 seconds. Why am I giving you 1 minute? Because you see, your question paper of IEO, it has about 50 questions, and so you can imagine that you get more or less a minute to answer the questions. Now this 1 minute is the maximum that you should be taking for answering the question. Now suppose there could be two, three categories of students. First category is, suppose you answer the question within that 1 minute. So I would request you to fast forward the video and skip right to the answer. You should not be wasting your time. Alright. Now the other students who are not able to answer the question in 1 minute, what you do, you don't skip to the answer. You pause the video and you write down your answer. Alright, it is very important to answer each and every question because there is no negative marking. Here you see, for every incorrect answer, no points, because there is no negative marking in IEO, so it is important that you attempt all the questions. Now for a question of which you are not sure about the answer, now even here and even in the exam, if you are not sure about the answer and you maybe think that B option might be correct or C option might be correct, so you should in that case play your luck and play your mind and make a guess and still give an answer, because it is a win-win situation. Either you will get the marks for that question or you will get a 0, right? But if you don't attempt that question at all, then you are anyway getting a 0 in that, right? So it is good to attempt those questions, and even if you don't know all the answers, try to understand and take a guess. Okay, so this is for every correct answer 10 points. This is just for your own little game where you can try to maintain a notepad. So here you write the name of the chapter and then the question, and then if it is correct you can give yourself 10 points. If it is not correct you mark it here. So it is important to see these questions, the ones which you mark incorrect. It is important to go back to them later and then see where you did the mistake. Alright, this is just for your reference. For every correct answer you can give yourself 10 points. Alright, now let's start. So your time starts now. Ten, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Okay, so now we start off with the questions of pronouns. This is the first category wherein what we have to do is fill in the blanks using suitable indefinite pronouns. Now, what are indefinite pronouns? As we studied, these pronouns, they refer to a noun but not directly, all right, in an indirect manner. So let's see. Dash of the boys could answer my question. Someone of the boys, any one of the boys, none of the boys, or every one of the boys. Now here, of the boys, okay. Here this is plural, but here we're talking about of the boys could answer. Answer, here the verb is telling us that we have to use a singular indefinite pronoun. So the singular one and the correct one is C. None of the boys could answer my question. All right. So your time starts now. Ten, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Okay, here Dash has stolen my purse. Somebody, anybody, everybody, or none of these. Here again, the correct answer is A. Somebody has stolen my purse. Indefinite pronoun, we are referring to someone. Okay, we are not referring to anyone or everyone. We are referring to someone, somebody who has stolen the purse. We are referring to that particular noun, but not directly, in an indirect manner. Okay, so an indefinite pronoun. So your time starts now. 10, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Okay, here we have. Many passengers were injured when the train was derailed, but Dash escaped unhurt. Everyone escaped unhurt, few escaped unhurt, much escaped unhurt, or little escaped unhurt. Now for people, you see, either we will use everyone or we will use few. But since here it says many passengers were injured and but Dash escaped unhurt. So we cannot use everyone, and so we have which one fits is B, few. But few escaped unhurt. For much and little we don't use with people like passengers, okay? So your time starts now. Ten, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Okay, here Dash of Shelley's poems were received well during his lifetime. None of Shelley's poems, no of Shelley's poems, nobody of Shelley's poems, or no one of Shelley's poems. Here the correct answer is A. None of Shelley's poems were received well during his lifetime. Here if you see, nobody and none, they are referred for people. But here we are talking about poems, certain things. So we use none. Alright. So your time starts now. Ten, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Okay, here we have Dash must not praise oneself. Some must not praise oneself. One must not praise oneself. Any must not praise oneself. And no must not praise oneself. This one's pretty easy. Here we have the reflexive pronoun oneself. Okay. So, and here the subject here given is one. The pronoun we're going to be using is one. Must not praise oneself. Pretty easy. Alright. So your time starts now. 10, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Okay, here the next category says fill in the blanks with the correct pronouns. It says, I think we've learned a lot about Dash in this training workshop. About herself, himself, themselves or each other. Now here, first of all, here listen, let's see. Here these A, B and C, these are the options of reflexive pronouns. Okay, now you might get two ideas. First instance, you may know the answer and you could directly mark D, each other, the reciprocal pronoun over here. Reciprocal pronouns are which? Where there are two or more nouns and they are doing actions on each other, reciprocating the action on each other, which is each other. And here we. So there are many people who are reciprocating the action of learning on each other in this training workshop. So the answer is to D, each other. But if you get confused and think that we have a reflexive pronoun in the answer. So one more thing here given is the subject is I, or we can say we. The subject is in first person. And here the reflexive pronoun given are in third person. Okay. So reflexive pronoun A is not the answer. Why? Because we will be using reciprocating pronoun. And secondly, even if you get confused and think that maybe reflexive pronoun is the answer, then there is none of the option for the first person reflexive pronouns. All right. So your time starts now. Ten, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Okay, here the window seemed to open all by dash. All by itself, all by himself, all by ourselves, or all by herself. Here we're talking about the window. Window is what? Third person neutral. So the reflexive pronoun we'll be using is A itself. The window seemed to open all by itself. Others, himself, herself. These are third person, singular, male and female. Here ourselves is first person, plural. Alright. So your time starts now. Ten, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Okay, here we prepare dash for the long journey to Goa. We prepared himself, ourselves, themselves, yourselves. Here the subject is what? We, which is first person plural. So accordingly the correct pronoun is be, ourselves. Ourselves, first person plural. This is a reflexive pronoun or emphatic pronoun? This is an emphatic pronoun. Why? Because here we are emphasizing on what? Emphasizing on the subject itself. Alright, now even if we have said we prepared for the long journey to Goa, this sentence would have made complete sense. But here we are using this pronoun ourselves to give a dramatic emphasis on the subject. Alright, that's why this is an emphatic pronoun. Okay. So your time starts now. Ten, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Alright, here we have Raju has invited all of Dash for dinner tonight. Has invited all of they, all of we, all of us, or all of he. Here the correct answer is C. Raju has invited all of us for dinner tonight. Personal pronoun. So your time starts now. Ten, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Okay, here. It was very kind of Dash to have come for the function. Of them, of those, of themselves, or of each other. It was very kind of them to have come over for the function. Alright. Referring to the personal pronoun them in the objective case, right? Then we have those. Those is a demonstrative pronoun. Themselves can be reflexive or emphatic pronoun. Each other is the reciprocal pronoun. All right. So your time starts now. 10, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Okay, here complete the following sentences with the correct interrogative pronouns. Dash is going to Port Blair this summer. Why is going to, what is going to, who is going to, or when is going to. Here the correct answer is who is going to Port Blair this summer. Now who is used for a person, but when that person acts as the subject. Alright, so who is going to Port Blair this summer. Others, why is used for a reason, what is used for specific thing or object, when is used for a specific time. So your time starts now. Ten, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Alright, now next. Dash did you get for your birthday this year? Why did you get? What did you get? Where did you get? Or when did you get? Here the correct answer is B. What did you get for your birthday this year? Because we are asking about a specific thing. Alright. So we say, what did you get for your birthday this year? The others, why? Why is used asking for a reason. Where is used asking for the whereabouts, the place, location. When is used for asking about the time. So your time starts now. Ten, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Okay, here. Dash did you invite to preside over the meeting? Whom did you invite? Who did you invite? A C. What did you invite? A D. Whose did you invite? Here the correct answer is A. Whom did you invite to preside over the meeting? Why whom? Because you see, whom is used to ask about a person, but when the person acts as the object in the sentence. And who here, who is also used to ask about a person, but when that person acts as the subject in the sentence. Now here if you see, whom did you invite to preside over the meeting? Now here if we give the answer, let's say I invited the president to preside over the meeting. So here the president in this sentence is the object. So since the president will be the object, so we will be using who. Alright. Then the others, what is used to ask for a specific thing or object. Whose is used to ask about possession or belongingness or ownership. So your time starts now. 10, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Okay, next. Dash will you start your journey? What will you start your journey? Who will you start your journey? When will you start your journey? Or whose will you start your journey? This is pretty easy when we're talking about a certain time. So we'll say, when will you start your journey? What will be the time when you start your journey? Okay, so when. What is used to ask for a specific thing or object? Who is used to ask about a person, but when the person acts as the subject in the sentence? Whose is used to ask about the ownership or belongingness of something. So your time starts now. Ten, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Okay, here the next one is dash. Are you arguing with me? Whose are you arguing with me? Why are you arguing with me? Which are you arguing with me? Or who are you arguing with me? Here the correct answer is B. Why are you arguing with me? Alright, this is asking about a reason. In the others you see whose it is used to ask about whose is used to ask about certain belongingness, or we can say ownership. Then we have which is used when we are asking about a certain choice. Who is used to ask about a person, but that person acts as the subject in the sentence. Alright. So your time starts now. Ten, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Okay, here we have, has Dash seen my purse? Has anybody seen my purse? Everybody seen my purse? Any seen my purse? Or every seen my purse? Here the correct answer is A. Has anybody seen my purse? Now this one is an indefinite pronoun. We're referring to a noun but not directly. Alright, so it is an indefinite pronoun. And since we are asking about has anybody seen my purse? The correct answer is anybody and not everybody. Everybody includes everyone. So if everyone has seen the purse, she must be asking the question. Alright. And then we have any and every, C and D. They don't fit in because here we are asking about a certain person. Alright. So your time starts now. 10, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Okay, so here you see Rita dash refused the offer. The options are Rita yourself refused the offer, Rita itself refused the offer, C. Rita herself refused the offer, or D. Rita her refused the offer. Here the correct answer is C. Rita herself refused the offer. Why herself? Because you see Rita is third person singular female. For her we use herself. Alright. Now this is what? This is an emphatic pronoun. Why an emphatic or intensive pronoun? Because you see this pronoun is being used to emphasize on the subject Rita. If this pronoun was not here and the sentence would have been Rita dash refused the offer, it's like just Rita refused the offer, then it would also have made complete sense. But here we are using herself to emphasize, to give a dramatic emphasis that Rita herself refused the offer. Alright, others you see here, yourself is second person, itself is third person singular neutral, and her is the personal pronoun. Alright. So your time starts now. Ten, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Okay, so the last question says, dash notebook is this? Whom notebook is this? Who notebook is this? Where notebook is this? Or whose notebook is this? Here the correct answer is D. Whose notebook is this? Why whose? Because whose is used to ask about ownership or belongingness of something. So that's why we are using whose. The other options, whom is used. So whom is used to ask about a person, but that person is acting as the object in the sentence. Alright. Who is used to again ask about a person, but that person is acting as the subject in the sentence. Then we have where. Where is used to inquire about the whereabouts, the location. Alright. So with this we finish off with the questions on pronouns. Alright. So that's it from my side for this topic. I hope you have understood the concept, various examples, and the mock questions as well. Now for the mock questions, I would request you कि जो भी आपने गलत करे होंगे, maybe because of the concept or some error, you should go back and rectify those. उसमें आप अपना देखना कि आपने क्या mistake करी है and try to make sure that you don't repeat that mistake again. Alright, and for each topic, for any English topic, it is very important that you keep on involving English by reading, by listening, by speaking. Most important is communication. Okay. And writing as well, maybe keeping a diary and also reading the newspaper or any other magazine, anything that you like. Okay, so keep on involving English in your life and these topics will become very easy for you. All right then, I will see you the next time. in the next class. And till then, thank you.
That's all for our class on pronouns. I hope you have understood the various categories, and if there were any mistakes made by you in the sample questions, make sure you rectify them so that you understand, which pronoun had to be used, and if you use another one, so why did you make that mistake. So if there is any conceptual problem, make sure you go back to the concept and revise it so that you don't repeat that mistake. Alright, so keep revising and keep learning. I'll see you the next time. Thank you for watching.